Alright then guys, welcome to the video, welcome back to the channel. Today is finally the day that the car is getting mapped. As you can see though, it's in bits. The throttle position sensor was throwing a code that basically meant when I was at full throttle, it basically threw it into limp mode. Starting this video with the car in bits in the car park, it's just about to go and get mapped, but I was just changing over the throttle position sensor to this Acuity one. This is basically the only aftermarket, or you can't actually buy a genuine one from Honda unless you buy an entire throttle body. So this Acuity one is better than the OEM one, and the only one really available unless you want some rubbish knockoff. So again, because Honda don't sell this separately, you have to basically cut grooves into the top of the two screws that hold in the throttle position sensor to be able to remove the OEM one, but luckily this Acuity one comes with new hardware. At this point, we're ready to take this old one off, so I thought before I put it all back together, I thought I'd show you that part of it, and if you guys ever have the problem, because apparently this is quite a common thing to go wrong, you guys can now install this one as well. So we'll do that, and then we will get on with mapping. So as you can see, hacked it up. You can use anything to create a slit in the top so you can get a flathead screwdriver on it. We've cracked both sides of this as well, so there's two here. So it's time to remove this one and put the new one on, and the new one just has a rubber gasket already built into it, so much better than this paper one that's gonna come off anyway. And this is the new Acuity one, and as you can see, looks lovely, got a gasket. Nice bit of purple in there as well. I'll leave a link to this if you want to pick one of these up. There's lots of benefits to using this rather than an OEM one anyway, so good upgrade and had to be done anyway. So let's get this one in the car. I thought it was worth showing this as well. So this is obviously where the throttle position sensor was, so you can see exactly how it works. So this is obviously attaches to that. That's how it tells the car where the throttle position actually is. So I'd never actually seen it taken apart like this. I thought it was worth showing you guys as well. So it's pretty hard to show, but there you go. The TPS sensor is back in, and there's some nice Phillips head screws that screw that back in. So the reason that this one probably broke in the first place was because the OEM TPS sensor can't really handle vibrations too well, especially once you upgrade engine mounts and gearbox mounts and stuff like that. So that's what I've done. So I reckon that over time the vibrations basically made this fail. This Acuity TPS sensor is actually designed completely differently to the OEM one, so it can deal with those sort of vibrations and things far better because it's designed in a different way. And if you're having issues with your TPS, this is a good one to go with. Okay guys, so it's all back together. Just had to do that quickly because we've got to get it obviously mapped. So let's see what happens when we start it, because we haven't calibrated it here because we can calibrate it when we're in there. If I start this up, I actually don't know what's going to happen. So let's find out. Oh, perfect. I genuinely thought there was going to be a problem, so awesome. All right, we'll drive this in. All right guys, we're here at Dynodaze. As you can see in the background, the car is ready to go. It's on the dyno. Never had my car on anything like this. I actually don't even really know that much what it sounds like outside, apart from the videos I filmed with it. I've never heard it from the outside, so this is pretty cool. What we're going to do first, we're going to do a power run with the bung in, then a power run with the bung out to see how much of a difference it's made at standard. So at the moment we're just getting it all set up and locked down on the dyno, so it's ready to go. And then it's time to get the bloop 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 and get it mapped. Okay, so just did a power run, currently making 195 with the bung in, so obviously slightly down on standard power. So basically now we're just removing the bung, doing another run just to see what it's at without the bung, and then we'll get onto mapping. But there's the graph, as you can see. That's obviously VTEC right there. But yeah, there we go. So this is the bung out. Okay, so as you guys can see here, the blue line is the new run with the bung out. The red line is the previous run with the bung in. So it's about 10 horsepower different at peak power. And then, well, as you can see, blue line is higher up, basically everywhere in the entire power curve. So again, pretty obvious where VTEC kicks in, but there you go. If you needed any sort of proof that the silencer bung does anything, there it is. So 10 horsepower difference. I thought it would probably make slightly more power. It might adjust things moving forward, like if it was tweaking anything itself, because that was literally bung in, take it out, another power run. But yeah, 205 with the bung out. So that is our, I suppose, correct starting power. So let's see what we do. Alright guys, Future Olly here. Just thought I'd mention this quickly. I had a look through the footage and obviously there's loads of black smoke coming out the back, so it looks like the car's really unhealthy. It's basically because I've been babying this car around since I installed that Skunk2 Inlet Manifold, and that was about 6 weeks ago now, maybe even longer. I haven't been into VTEC for that entire time, so basically it's just a load of carbon build up on the inside of the exhaust that it's now that it's actually flowing and pushing it all out because of it being maxed out all the way through the rev range. And with the pops, obviously that's like an explosion, so it's pushing this stuff out. So it's completely fine now. It was just pushing that stuff out. So I just thought I'd clear that up, that the engine's fine. There is nothing wrong. It's purely just the build up from in here, from me babying it around and it just being driven slowly without a map or anything on it. So just thought I'd clear that up. Okay, so I'm hoping that you can hear me, but basically I just loaded a Bose map in on the ECU and already straight away it's got up to 177 wheel horsepower. So that's 11 wheel horsepower more than the previous run, and that's just a base map with similar mods, but not the exact same mods. 223.2 for the first run, and that's just the generic one, so we're already up basically 20 horsepower in the first run. So this is basically going to be fine tuning and stuff from here on out really. Okay.
Well, the exhaust what's held you back today.
Yeah?
Massively. 2.25 is nowhere near big enough. Basically, with a decent exhaust on 2.5 or 70mm or 3 inch, we'd have made 240 today.
Right.
So we're way down. We're about best part of 20 brake down is what I would expect to see peak. It's a tiny exhaust system. Yeah, it's a tiny exhaust system. It's nowhere near big enough. Yeah, like I say, we flattened off completely, ground to the top. We should have just kept climbing, especially with that inlet on it.
However, we have finished today on 221 brake horsepower, and we have made 50 brake horsepower in the mid-range. So engine power 133. After we took the bung out, it was 133, and we finish at 183 in the mid-range. So that's a 50 brake horsepower increase. You can see the green line is what we finished, and the blue line was your stock run. So power had right the way across the rev range, and especially from about this point forward, from about 4.5 to about just over 6.5 maybe. Massive difference there. But as Richard says, yeah, exhaust next. That'd be what I'd be going for. But still a result, impressive.
So the car is just off on a test drive, see what it's like on the road, but that's it, done. So away it goes. I'm still yet to get in it and see what it's like. I've just got to go pay now, and then we'll be on the road. Okay then guys, so I've just left, just pulling out now. This is the first sort of quick drive. I thought I'd add this bit in because I thought I'd give you my first impressions, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full drive video, so let's see what happens. This feels pretty cool. So yeah, basically the roads all the way back it's just the motorway, so it's really boring. What I'm gonna do, I'll get back and I will film a first drive video. There is that to come, and what I'll do is I'm gonna drive home. If I come across anything on my way back, I'll mention that in the outro, which I'll film once I'm at home. So I'll catch you guys when I'm back, but yeah, so far feels different. All right then guys, I'm home. car made it back totally fine, and did a few little pulls and stuff on the motorway on the way back, and it was rush hour, so it was a bit of a nightmare. So I want to say thank you for Dynodaze for having me down for the day and for mapping the car. I realised I didn't actually mention anything to do with things I've now got. So I've got de-acceleration pops and bangs, so it's not like pop and bang switch or anything like that, and it's not at like any RPM. Like, you have to really make it do it for it to do it. So it's basically full acceleration, come off the power and letting it coast down, and then with a few blips of the throttle, things like that, that's what makes it pop. So it's nothing like super ASBO or anything like that, but still pretty cool to have it right at the top of the rev range. It's also got launch control mapped in as well, so I'm yet to try that. I will try that out on the first drive video. I can see that being a lot of fun. So obviously the peak power number isn't as high as I was expecting it to be or whatever, but the main thing I was actually looking for was that mid-range torque increase. So that 50 brake horsepower difference, so like that's a massive difference in that mid-range. So I'm really looking forward to testing that out on some twisty roads local to me, because obviously that's where I'll be able to tell the biggest difference on the roads I know. But this is also not the final iteration of this car, so it's not like this was the end, so there's still other bits I can do. And obviously now I know that this exhaust is quite limiting, so I'll probably end up changing the cap back on this from the spoon to something else. I'll do a bit of research and find out. Or you guys leave me a comment down below what exhaust system you think I should get on this, or whether I should even just do a custom system. I'm not sure yet, haven't decided, because obviously it's just happened. Dynodaze have also made a video for their channel about today as well, so I'll link that below, so you check that out if you want any different information compared to what you got from my video. Obviously the peak power probably wasn't what any of us were expecting, but that is what it is. And yeah, like I said, this isn't the end for this car. Like, there's still other things I've got moving forward as a plan. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, guys. Leave a comment down below of what you thought this car was probably going to make power wise, or anything else, any questions you have. Remember to like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.